everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be presenting 7 amazing Gary Cooper westerns. Yes, in this episode we shine the spotlight on Gary Cooper, the silver screen legend. Cooper had a strong screen presence and an understated acting style. In many ways, he was the strong and silent type, just like Clint Eastwood. And it's funny that I mention that, as Gary Cooper is one of Clint Eastwood's favourite actors. Now, Gary did more than 7 westerns, so I'm going to try to highlight some of Cooper's must-see westerns. Now, these haven't been presented in any particular order. This is not a best to worst list. It's open to the viewer to share their favourites, and I've decided to present this countdown from oldest to newest. So join me now as I count down 7 amazing Gary Cooper westerns you must see. Cooper just starred in numerous westerns of high quality. We can take it right back to 1936 and The Plainsman, which was an epic Cecil B. DeMille film. Cooper played Wild Bill Hickok, and he's a guy that just fit into western scenery perfectly. And his female co-star was Jean Arthur. She played Calamity Jane, while his male co-star was James Ellison, who played Buffalo Bill Cody. The Plainsman was an ambitious film, character-driven and epic in scope. It is interesting to note that John Wayne wanted to play the Cooper role of Wild Bill Hickok, but director Cecil B. DeMille stood his ground and went with Cooper, who was an exceptional horseman and did all of his own riding stunts. He'd been doing some silent films in the 20s. Really, The Plainsman is 2 hours of western thrills, and it's just a tremendous watch. Acclaimed director William Wyler gave us The Westerner from 1940, which features a striking portrayal by Gary Cooper, where he played a cowboy who was accused of stealing horses. This amazing western netted Gary Cooper's co-star Walter Brennan his 3rd Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. And despite this being a rather entertaining western, Cooper wished he'd never made it and had continued battles with producer Samuel Goldwyn, as Cooper felt that Brennan's performance could overshadow his and inevitably diminish his impact on the film. But in the end, Cooper caved in to Goldwyn and made the movie, but did so under protest. Cooper famously stated, "You can't make a western without a gunfight," and in the end made his way to the set and shot it. And when he came on the screen, people just felt at home. So Gary almost sidestepped this film, but amazingly it turned into a crowd favourite. And he needs to be seen in western duds and experienced. He's a very naturalistic actor. Yes, he has this tough guy persona, but he is really great when it comes to western performances, because those performances were so charismatic, so strong, and so appealing to the American public that they just wanted more and more. By the 1950s, Gary Cooper was a top-flight movie star still in high demand. And Cooper starred in one of the most celebrated westerns of all time, High Noon, which came out in 1952. It co-starred Grace Kelly. High Noon was nominated for 7 Oscars. It won 4, and it was directed by Fred Zimmerman. And Cooper actually won an Academy Award for Best Actor for his portrayal in that film. It was shot almost in real time, and it is just a fascinating character study. This was a movie that the critics and the public embraced, and a little bit of trivia is John Wayne didn't particularly like the movie. He didn't like what it stood for, but that's another story altogether. Let's not take away from the elegance of High Noon. It really is a treasure of a film, and Gary Cooper really is at the top of his game. At this point, he was a seasoned actor, and he is just playing this role to the hilt. And another cool Cooper movie is Springfield Rifle from 1952, where he plays an agent of sorts during the Civil War who is trying to discover who was involved in the theft of some Union cavalry horses. Springfield Rifle has all the elements of an espionage thriller, with Cooper taking on a Confederate spy ring. And in many ways, Cooper milked it to great effect. He really built his films and played to his own strengths, and it really resonated with the public. Phyllis Thaxter was Cooper's co-star this time, and some of you may remember Thaxter from her role as Ma Kent opposite Glenn Ford in Superman the movie. In my opinion, Springfield Rifle is an underrated Western that was sadly overlooked, as it was released in 1952 around the same time of the more famous Western High Noon. Regardless, Springfield Rifle is a solid oeuvre from start to finish and features some nice action set pieces that will definitely engage. And it just showed how committed he was to the American spirit. This guy was strong, and he's a cowboy star that just continues to be celebrated. Gary really busted out a lot of big westerns during the 1950s, and one of them is Vera Cruz from 1954, where he played an experienced Civil War vet and he was teaming up with Burt Lancaster. That was a great adventure western. Vera Cruz also featured a reliable supporting cast such as Oscar winner Ernest Borgnine and the likeable Jack Elam, and of course the one and only Charles Bronson, who is credited here as Charles Buczynski. Really, you can't go wrong with this western, and as far as Mexican Rebellion pictures go, Vera Cruz is extremely flavoursome. And what a western it was. One of his final westerns was Man of the West from 1958. This was directed by Anthony Mann. This is tough, gritty, hard-hitting entertainment, and Cooper played an aging outlaw who gets involved in a botched robbery and is trying to actually survive. Cooper plays it edgy and grizzled, and the film features wonderful support by veteran Lee J. Cobb, Hawaii Five-O's Jack Lord, and the beautiful Julie London. The poster said, "Gary Cooper as the man of the West, the role that fits him like a gun fits a holster." He was his own man, and he just commanded the screen. And with veteran Western director Anthony Mann at the helm, this film really delivers on its promise. So that's an interesting one as well. And there's titles in his filmography like The Hanging Tree from 1959, which was a Western drama directed by Delmer Daves. Yes, psychological Westerns are a thing. And The Hanging Tree gave us something to chew on. And playing opposite Cooper was Carl Malden. Cooper's female co-star was Maria Schell, and that's a very interesting film where Cooper is playing a doctor, but he's also an outlaw. And some think that this Western is even superior to High Noon. Whatever the case, this was Cooper's final Western. And he looks a little different. And the reason for that is that just prior to filming, Cooper had a full facelift. And as a result of this cosmetic surgery, some critics were harsh and found the always reliable Cooper now hard to watch. So when it comes to Cooper's Western history, The Hanging Tree is one you can't ignore. You just have to soak it up and take it in. There's just some fascinating aspects to that one. So thanks for joining me. That was really fun reflecting on those 7 amazing Gary Cooper Westerns. So Cooper's legacy lives on. He is just classic Americana. Sadly, Cooper died at a young age. He was only 60. And when it came to those portrayals, just like in High Noon, many people will have you believe that Cooper was the personification of an American hero. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me your favourite Western stars of all time, and let's get the conversation going. And if you're looking for more Western commentary, I do have another countdown video that focuses on 5 amazing Westerns you must see. And I also have another one on 5 amazing Billy the Kid Westerns you must see. So the Western genre is a favourite of mine, and you'll always find me back on here talking about Westerns at some point. So yes, that just about does it for today. Take care, and I'll see you all again very soon.